Hi, I'm Emil Hobbs. Welcome to my final presentation for my Action Research Project. The problem that I addressed with my Action Research Project was to increase writing skills using technology with a 4th grade early intervention program reading class. One of the students in the class has a learning disability and is also a special education student. And 4 of the 7 students in the class were also learning English as a second language. I teach at a small international charter school right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and the school was actually created to help educate and reach a target audience of refugees and immigrants that are in Clarkston, Georgia. The school is very diverse. There are over 40 countries represented with the students and the faculty at my school. There's a large population of students who are learning English as a second language at my school. And when we see that students are not making gains in reading and language skills, literacy skills, a lot of times they end up coming to me and we do some more basic skills in reading, and we try to tie all of the elements of language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And I also have the benefit of having a Promethean board in my classroom and a small computer lab of some very antiquated Apple eMacs that I rescued off of the floor in the office a few years ago. They were internet ready and connected, and the students have used them to play some video games like Dr. Seuss programs and some other programs that I have found on the internet. Working with the students in my school, I've noticed that writing skills are always the most difficult to attain. Ensuring that your spelling is correct and that you've actually formed proper sentences when you only speak English at school and with your friends, and your parents don't read to you at home because they don't speak English and they certainly don't read it. And many of these families didn't make it to America with books in their own language, and many of these families are coming into America without literacy skills in their own language. Most of my students do not have access to technology at home, so I've taken it on as a mission to ensure that I'm able to at least introduce them, and I try to make my lessons as media rich as possible. When I began my research, I found a great number of articles that address the learning needs of the ESOL population. I found a great number of articles that address the students with learning disabilities angle. I also found a lot of articles that dealt with older students, high school and even college students, with discussion boards, and I had to really look hard to find some articles that addressed my age group and my specific area of student population. Several of the articles that I read mentioned how technology can help to meet the social needs of learning, and the immediacy of not only the teacher feedback but also peer feedback using discussion boards really stood out to me as a way that my students might find the feedback more real and meaningful. I also read several articles that addressed how students became more engaged and more motivated to participate, which I certainly was looking forward to in my classes. My school uses a Google platform for our email and other internet needs. So I was able to create my own website using Google Sites within my school's private network so that I could organize my lessons for the students each weekend as I was preparing for the upcoming week. So my fourth graders were able to log on. My site was the home page for the internet on my EMAC lab. So they could log on, go into the fourth grade area, find exactly what they should be doing in that center. I also created a discussion board within Google Groups to use with my students, and one of the most time-consuming parts of the whole process was having each of my students assigned an email address within our network so that I was able to monitor and ensure that they had access to my discussion boards. Both cycles of my research revolved around novels written by Judy Blume. As we were reading the novels together in class, the students would cycle through each of the centers and have an opportunity to post answers to questions on the discussion board and then come back and answer each other or make comments on what their classmates had said. At the end of the novel, we found areas of dialogue within those novels, and they separated into groups and found were able to create small plays or manuscripts from the novel itself. Then I allowed the students to take their dialogue and put it into animated programs. The first novel we did was Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, and they animated characters using extranormal.com. The second novel we read was otherwise known as Sheila the Great by Judy Blume, and at the end of that novel we used goanimate.com to create more scenes and characters, but basically the same project, just we amped it up a little bit. According to the Diagnostic Achievement Battery 3, all of my students made gains from the beginning of Cycle 1 to the end of Cycle 2. This year I'll only be teaching special education classes at International Community School, and I'm looking forward to using my extra time during the day towards creating grant opportunities that would support purchasing more technology for my school. My principal has asked me to help in teaching my faculty members about using the LMS that we've just purchased for our school, and I'm looking forward to continuing to integrate more technology into my lessons.